And we're live.
Good.
What's going on, everybody? We are back. Same. I knew you were gonna. I was actually thinking of that song earlier when I thought I was like, we're back in this spot right here, and I knew you were going to think of that song. Welcome to the Thursday night guitar Q&A live stream that we do every week on Dylan Talks Tone. We are going to go over your questions that came in from Patreon and from our YouTube YouTube members. You can join Patreon, patreon.com/DylanTalksTone, and you can also hit the join button on the YouTube thing. I should mention, I'm trying to do ad-free content on Patreon, but it's given me a problem this week. So I don't know what the deal is with that and why. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I put a support ticket in today, so hopefully that'll get fixed because the ad-free content over there is pretty sweet. So anyway, yeah, so there's that. Let's see, what else? We're going to talk about guitar stuff until 9 p.m. And then we're going to switch on over to off-topic stuff. If you have questions, get in the chat over here and put a bunch of question marks in front of it. Leslie will try to pick those out of there. We don't always get to all of them. If you want to get kind of bumped to the top of the list, hit the super chat button and we will drop what we're doing and answer those ones as well. That's how this works. There's a bunch of links in the description. People that help support our channel. If you use those links, it helps the channel. And that's it. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I saw you already going for something over there. Oh.
Van Shake Guitars celebrates 28 months of membership.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
He said, hi, Dylan and Leslie.
Pretty neat.
Hi, Ivan.
It's like a
that's really
free
cool.
super chat when you have an anniversary month thing like that. Pretty cool.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
We don't know unless they tell us, so.
That's true. I think because I've had it on other channels. I have it on Texas Toast channel. Yeah. And it'll sit there and it'll just be like, you have this free kind of super chat thing that you can use at any time. And I don't always use them right away or ever really. But
I'm assuming they would time out though, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Well, as we get going here tonight, I'm going to tell you about some neat custom stuff we're doing. And some neat kind of one-off stuff we're doing. And some neat short-run stuff we're doing. And some neat, you can kind of exclusive stuff we're doing too. We're doing some.
Apparently everybody likes my earrings. Not everybody. A few people have said they like my earrings.
I like them too. I think they're cool. Has anybody made any Cheap Trick references?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because what's his face of Cheap Trick checkerboards everything. So, yeah. Let's get right into these comments from Patreon and from YouTube viewers because there's a lot of them.
Are there?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. I have to finish typing.
Go for it.
Then I'll forget why I was typing.
Cool.
Ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Let's go.
John.
This is John doesn't have a lot of guitars, has more guitars, Roddy. However many he has now.
Oh.
I just didn't have room for it all.
Would still love to see a video of you reviewing a pickup that is not to your taste, where you point out what you're hearing, what you're listening for, and what it is that you do not like to hear. Then juxtapose with a pickup that is to your liking. I could never pick out individual flavors in a bourbon until my brother pointed out the flavors. Doesn't that taste like cornstalk, hint of caramel, etc.?
You are in luck. Because I have a video coming out very soon because we have that $200 Geo guitar, $300 Geo guitar that Ibanez, that with the chameleon finish on it, that I've made a set of pickups for. In fact, this is one of the pickups right here, and that's one of our custom shop things that we're talking about tonight. These clear humbuckers are available at Dylan Talks Tone on the website right now for a limited time. you can get them. There's a link to them in the description. But anyway, that particular guitar has really terrible pickups in it. And so we're going to do exactly the video that you were asking for. It's on the schedule. It's in production at the moment.
Did you cut my comment off?
I did, because it was taking up the whole thing and I had to show the pickup.
Rude.
Sorry.
Doc. Happy National Scrabble Day, Leslie and Dylan.
I used to play Scrabble with my grandma.
I was going to say, fun fact, his grandma loves Scrabble.
Yes, and she will beat you.
She didn't beat me.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody said I was going to be in the doghouse. It was the first time I met her, first time I played Scrabble. They were like, she always wins, and she didn't win. And they were like, that's risky. She likes me. When making a Firebird pickup, there is a small metal strip that sits 3/16 of an inch inboard from the end of treble side of the magnets. What is the purpose of that plate? Modification, reduction of the magnet field strength under the B string, movement of the resonant peak. I haven't seen that in other pickups.
Nope, I think it's totally overthought. It is, I think it's a ground plane to keep everything quieter. And I have experimented with it, and I don't really think it's necessary. But I think that's what their intention was to make it a ground plane across there to keep the magnets, to keep it quieter. So like when you, because the magnets don't touch anything. There's one underneath too. There's one underneath and one on top. So I think that's kind of what it's for.
Doc always, like, his questions are getting deeper and deeper with his knowledge.
Oh, yeah, because he has been nerding out about some pickup stuff.
It's really cool. Patrick, I came across an old Harmony guitar with one pick guard, a humbucker, with 2 buttons on top of the pick guard next to the output jack. Long question, sorry. If I buy the 8-ball special run clear pickup on April 26th, that's very specific, what's the cost to do the wires, pots, and etc. for this pickup since the guitar only has 1 pickup already? A humbucker? Please let me know.
You should be able to just hook up that humbucker to that guitar. Because we've got 4 wires, but I'm sure it's just, I don't know what those switches are. If they're phase flippy stuff, just get with me and we'll figure it out. But I don't see why you can't just use the wiring the way it is and just hook it up. It'll be fine. I'm going to give you a wiring diagram for it. So, yeah. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Oh, 2 Patricks. Patrick, I guess YouTuber Phil McKnight is right. People buy guitars just to add custom handmade pickups. I'm one of them. One more thing. I don't know the discount code. I'm not going to share it here.
So,
is that a Patreon?
What he's talking about?
Patreon.
Yeah, what he's talking about is Patreon members and YouTube members get a discount code. As long as you're a member, you have this discount code, and it's 10% off. And I will give it to you. I shared it in his question so that the other folks that were also part of that could see it as well if they didn't know. But we do have a discount code for you. And it gives you 10% off, which, I mean, on a set of humbuckers is $25-30 depending on what you order. It could be $30-40 on a pick guard depending on what you order, and it's only $5 a month for Patreon. I don't care if you join Patreon for a couple of months, totaling in $10 just to get the discount code. It honestly doesn't bother me if you cancel afterwards or whatever. It doesn't bother me at all. I like to tell people that because it's not really a game. It's just I just like people to know that.
Do you change the discount code and or verify their Patreon
I do.
member?
I don't change it, but I do verify they are, yes.
Ivan, just wanted to say thank you, Dylan, for pointing me to Raven Moon for his expertise with neodymium magnets in pickups. He gave me a few good starting points, and I'll experiment from there. I'll probably end up ordering more 42 AWG wire. I see a lot of angel hair in the garbage can.
Awesome. I'm glad that worked out. He's a really neat guy and really smart. He has been a big help to me over the years doing this stuff. Yep. I appreciate him.
Back and forth here.
Super chat.
Super chat from John Gonzalez. Thank you for the
Thank you,
super
John.
chat, John. Will you ever make an engineered non-wax potted PAF pickup that doesn't cost $300? Thanks. Rooting for you.
We do have that right now. You can go to our website and you can buy our DAF, which is our PAF pickup, and you can click the modern versus vintage button. If you click the vintage button, it comes with braided wire and it's not potted, and it is very good, and it is not $300.
Cool.
It might be half that or less.
And then we have Brian. I'm trying to figure out a good neck carve and dimensions for my next guitar. It seems that I like smaller width, 1 5/8, and thinner 80 millimeter. I am not sure about radius other than the compound radius on my American Strat seems to balance chords with soloing. How slim is too slim? How narrow is too narrow? Any advice about how to pick these dimensions? I am making the neck from a block of wood, so I will be able to make it smaller while I make it.
So, this is one where you're gonna not like the answer. It's a two-part answer. I think people, first of all, put way too much thought and time into this. Whatever your favorite guitar is, if you're making a neck from scratch, just use that. And don't overthink it. A good middle, so as far as fretboard radius goes, 10 or 12 is really cool. Even on a Fender style guitar, I like a 12-inch radius. It's really good. All this stuff that we're doing with Texas Toast is 10-inch, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic, which is a good balance. Conical radius, variable radius fretboards are a pain to set up, in my opinion. I don't care about them. 10's really cool. It's middle of the road. A very well set up 7 1/4 will be fine, even if you want to bend a lot, if you do it properly. John Mayer doesn't seem to have a problem. As far as the size of the neck, a good middle of the road is like 81 thousandths thick at the first fret, 92 thousandths at the 12th. That's a pretty good middle of the road C shape. That's what we were doing on the stuff that we were doing with Texas Toast when we were out there a couple of weeks ago. And everybody who played that guitar was like, that neck was like, this is fantastic middle of the road. It's just super comfortable. Just don't get super out there with it. Just stay kind of in the middle and you'll probably be okay.
All right, we have to go back a little bit. We have Randy Crooks is celebrating 7 months of membership.
Thanks, Randy.
Hey, Dylan, have you ever played any hammers? I just picked up a hammer double cut on my trip to Austin.
Dude, I used to be such a hammer fan when I was younger because I was a Gary Hoey fan. And Gary Hoey used to play hammers a lot. And they were really, really cool guitars. Yeah, super cool.
Okay, not related, and I'm not going to save it for later because we'll lose the context, but you were talking about necks. And Rusty Fender said the auto caption said, if you're making an egg from scratch. Super chat from Dumac. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Dumac.
How close is the DAF to Seth Lover's design? I know his was made to be as close to P90 as possible.
Very close. Very, very, very close. The reason it's not is because we don't use butyrate bobbins because butyrate's dumb, because it is not plastic, and this is 2023. And we also use a different style of wire, but we use the same diameter of insulation of wire, thickness of insulation of wire, same diameter of wire, same diameter, all that stuff is the same. Basically what we do is we use Seth Lover's design in modern materials, and they're fantastic. Keith Sharp.
Super chat from Keith Sharp. Thank you for the super chat. Do you see vintage amps decreasing in price in the future since the younger players are going digital now? The digital stuff sounds great.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think there's always going to be people that want that stuff. There is a definite like perception that just because one thing is getting more popular that something else is just going to like completely fall off, and it's just not that. It's just not going to happen. But I do think there's going to be an effect where, like, for example, people my age, not me, but people my age are going to buy iRock Z's because that's what they saw when they were a kid, even though I don't want one, but a lot of people do. That generation of whatever they think is a classic car when they were a kid, to a point. 20 years from now, nobody's going to be buying a vintage Tesla, right? So nobody's going to be buying a vintage Tonex or a vintage Kemper. Nobody cares about it because it's basically just like a computer. So I think the tube amps are always going to stay around in that respect because they don't age, I guess, as long as they're still serviceable. That's kind of my take on it anyway. Mm-hmm. It's like an iPhone. Like, nobody wants an iPhone 4.
I feel like I did this one.
Like, I wouldn't buy an iPhone 4 on purpose because it was cool. You know.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, y'all. Robert, I am installing 2 Gibson.
I guess, as long as they're still serviceable.
Why did that
start talking to you?
That's really creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Robert, I am installing 2 Gibson 490 humbuckers in a Squire Bullet Mustang. The Gibson wires have a woven mesh exterior, a cloth insulator, and a bare wire at the core, similar to a coaxial cable without the plastic exterior layer. Do I use the woven mesh exterior as the ground?
Yes.
I'll also use the Gibson pots and cap. It'll be a Gibstang. I'll watch for your answer tomorrow. Rehearsal is tonight as usual.
Yeah, so the center conductor is going to be your hot. That's going to go to your switch or your pot or whatever, however you want to wire it. And then your braided part is just going to be soldered to the back of the pot like a ground. Yep, exactly.
Rusty Fender says the iPhone 2G original goes for more than $10,000.
Yeah, oh, I do know that. But it's got to be, like, I don't want to say new in the box, but there are collectors for that stuff. Like an Apple IIe or an Apple IIc computer is worth a bunch of money. So I kind of get that, but I think...
They're not even usable, right?
No, it's a paperweight. Yeah, we have a friend, Barry. He goes to those vintage computer conventions, and they have a bunch of people that are super into all those really old computers and stuff, and they collect them. So I know that it will be a thing, but nowhere near like a Plexi or a old Fender amp or something, you know. They'll always be around for some reason.
Robert. Hello, Leslie and Dylan. Thank you for the wiring diagrams and the instructional videos you've shared. They have given me confidence.
Thanks, Robert.
It's really nice. Rob F. So Rob said he was super busy tonight because he had 10 children in his house.
Woo!
And his twins turned to be teenagers tomorrow. So
wow.
Rob has his hands full.
Wow.
Hello, Leslie and Dylan. Who manufactured and where did you purchase the nut files that were featured in your recent video? Would you recommend them, or have you run across files you like more? What was that?
I don't know what that was. That was weird. They were StewMac files. There's a link in the description. If you use that link, it helps out the channel. They're fantastic. And there will be people that will make up excuses to say they're too expensive, but they are worth what you pay for them. They are very good. I have an old Japanese set that I've had for like 10 years that is starting to wear, and these ones are like, what a great freshen up, and they're very, very good. I'm very happy with them. Like $112 or something for the set of 6 that you need to do a guitar. But, you know, like my last set I had for 10 years, so amortized out to the dozens and probably hundreds of guitars that I've worked on, I think it's fine.
Who says that?
I always tell people, if you have 4 guitars, buy nut files and learn to do it yourself. Like if you have 4 guitars, learn to do any of this stuff. And then you will save the money of the tools that you just bought.
We're still going, right? Because, like, there's been a lot of comments since that comment.
I don't know. Are we still going?
I think so. Just weird.
It
And
is
whatever
weird.
that flashy thing was. Yeah.
That you just bought. Yeah, I feel like we're going.
We're still going.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's happening with the comments, though. They're not coming through.
Weird.
67 Goat. I bought the silver TTG 9000 Sunday Driver prototype. Description says it has a Dylan loaded pickguard. What is it loaded with?
The silver one. Ah, man. So, okay. So if it has staggered pull pieces in it, then it is a custom one-off set. If it is, they're both custom sets, but one is more accurate to the 57 Strat than the other. They're both very low output pickups. That's what I was going to talk about too. So if we're talking about exclusive stuff that we're doing right now, this pickup right here, if you'll see this right here, this, come on, focus, focus, focus. Hocus pocus. Come on, it won't work. Anyway, these are all staggered pull pieces. We don't do them normally. But for this special thing, because we wanted them to be like a 57 Stratocaster, very accurate to it, we did. And so these are exclusive to the guitars that we are building with Texas Toast Guitars, and they are also exclusive to the Strat build a $9,000 Strat class that we're doing in August and we're doing in October. There is 1 seat left in August, and I think there's 3 left in October, or 2 left in October. So if you're interested in doing that. They're Alnico 5. They're really low output pickups, like 5.8, 5.8, 5.6 in the bridge, because that's the way those old guitars were. They're actually lower output in the bridge, and they sound phenomenally good. Well, you already have a guitar, I think, so, or maybe it's on its way to you, so you'll see. They're really, really cool.
What's loaded with? Shane, when releasing your inner U2, how do you stack delays? Analog first, then digitals?
I don't use delay that much. I don't really care about it. I use a little slapback when I'm doing some of the cowpunk stuff that I used to play a lot, but I don't really use delay that much. I have been more lately, but just a little digital, not like U2 kind of stuff. Just a little like big arena rock kind of little bit.
Is there like a standard if it wasn't personal? Is there an order of analog versus digital? Maybe that's what he's asking.
It's probably analog first and then digital. Yeah, it probably is. But I think what he does, what Edge does, is it's like a dotted.
It's the Edge, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that like iPhone versus the iPhone?
Correct.
Yeah.
You can't just say Edge. You have to say the Edge.
Okay. But you can only say iPhone. You can't say the iPhone.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah. I want to say he does like a dotted eighth or something, and then he stacks them, 2 of them or something. I don't remember exactly.
Y'all help Shane out. Shane. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Talkstone. I haven't heard that in a long time. Enjoyed your talk about bone nuts. Regarding this, Baxter at Casino Guitars has stated that he doesn't use capos because he believes they ruin the tone of the bone nut. Any truth to that?
I will, the next time I have a chance to discuss that over a beer, I will ask him, because he is my friend, and I will not talk trash about him on the internet. But I don't understand why that is true. Here's the thing about nuts. There are exactly 6 notes out of, 130 something on a guitar that are directly affected by the nut. They're called E, A, D, G, B, and E. Open strings. So I don't know. I don't know why you would say that. I'm not sure. I'm interested in his thought process. He is an incredible guitar player, so I would not argue with what he says.
Robert, for the mint green Strat, what are you thinking for pickups? Would like you to pick what you would want if it was yours.
Oh.
Excited to see the potential of the switch.
This is his guitar.
What is his guitar?
That seafoam green, or that whatever color. You know, we've got the Telly and the Strat. Mm-hmm. So the Telly is Chris Hendrix's, mm-hmm. and the Strat is Robert's.
Okay.
Probably gonna do a set of Bonnevilles in it because those are my favorite pickups right now. And then we are probably going to do, we're going to do that switch. And we're going to play around with some phase flipping stuff and see what we can do with that switch.
Oh, does he get that weird switch?
He gets that weird switch. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. We're going to put the weird switch, because I have 2 of them. Because he bought one to go with that guitar, and I had already ordered one. So we're going to put the other one in the Telly, and we're going to put 3 pickups in the Telly, and we're going to put a mini humbucker in the
Is
neck.
it actually Chris's guitar?
Mm-hmm. We're going to do like a Nashville Brent Mason setup in that guitar, I think, where we put a mini humbucker in the neck, a Firebird, well, it's going to be Firebird pickup, in the neck, a Strat pickup in the middle, and then a Telly bridge pickup. And then we're going to put that switch in there and be able to do a bunch of cool stuff with it. I think that's going to be an exciting one. So,
all right.
Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss that.
That was the end of those.
Okay.
I grabbed 6 comments before they stopped coming in, literally.
That's so
I don't know
weird.
what's wrong with the software. So I'm going to scroll back up.
We need to make sure we didn't miss any super chats.
I got all that. That's caught up.
This is caught up now?
I mean, that is where it ended. Like, there's nothing I can do about it.
Okay.
I've toggled back and forth. I don't know what happened. So let me see where we're at. Yep. Okay. So I'm actually going to go off of this list because those are still saved, but I can't keep scrolling back and forth.
Okay. So we're going to have to kind of fly by the seat of our pants a little bit more with this.
So.
Okay.
Oh, and I think there is a super chat now. And I cannot share it.
On the screen because we don't have it.
So I am sorry, but thank you for the super chat, Keith H.
Could still make the noise.
Okay.
Though.
Thanks for the super chat, Keith H. I'm sorry we can't put it on the screen. He said, how are your frets on your Epiphone? I got the V, and the frets are super scratchy, and the case has a tear right in the middle back. Shipping woes, wah, wah, wah.
The frets were perfect. The case had a little nick in it because while I shared the picture when we unboxed it, the box was like completely torn to shreds. It wasn't in a box by the time I got it. I don't know where you got yours. Mine came straight from Gibson. But yeah, it was scary.
All right, caveat. Dylan, would you design a stacked humbucker, or does the physics argue against the design in any form?
Like a stacked humbucker, like a humbucker on top of a humbucker? Nah, I don't think it's worth doing.
Janice? I'm going to butcher this. Chanowski. Hi, Leslie and Dylan. I have a question. Can I use the Power Soak Bugera PS1 with a Marshall Origin 20 at 0 volume for silent recording without damaging the power amp? Thanks.
I don't know because I don't know what the specs are of that thing. I don't want to tell you wrong because I don't want you to blow your amp up.
Tim Ziegler. Dylan, have you thought about writing a book on pickups and wiring?
I have. That's as far as it got.
You thought about it?
I should do that.
That'd be a grand idea.
Yeah.
Robinson's Customs. D. Is the Thruxton I bought the right choice for the single hum telly 5-way push serial parallel phasing configuration you did in episode 36? I'm building the black Nikita rig, which was Jimmy's, I think.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great. No, that was my guitar. Yeah, that would be great.
Wait, he has the Nikita?
No, but he went... remember the black one?
That is the episode.
That first single hum we built a long time ago. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's
cool. Haas said cowpunk. Did I hear that right?
It's cowpunk. That's what we used to call it.
Obviously, you still call it that.
We do.
Strum bum. What are your thoughts on the... I always can't say this word. Cuneife?
Cuneife.
Cuneife pickups for Fender and using other metals for pickups.
I think it's awesome. And I think people should experiment with it more. I think it's a great idea. Anytime people will get out of their own head and do something with some alternative materials to experiment, I think there's way more things that can be done and way more possibilities of doing stuff if people will just allow their own brains to let it happen.
Eric Davis says B-Bender 2 or just the Brent Mason pickup setup?
Oh, no B-Bender. That's dumb.
Josh M. The TTG Silver has differentially, I think he means differently, staggered poles.
Yep.
All three have higher DG poles. Bridge has slightly raised EA poles. Neck has slightly raised BE poles.
Yep. That's exactly right. So that's this set right here that I have in my hand. And all of them are getting that set from this point on. There was 2 guitars that did not have that set, but that's so that's a 57-ish sort of set that we made to mimic a particular guitar. Yep. Really low output. Sounds awesome.
Rob F. Dylan, if I have your pickups in my guitar, how can they possibly not be special enough?
Oh, I mean, they are pretty special.
Still can't display it, but thank you for the super chat, Doc Stiltonen. Bone is super inconsistent. I work with bone every day and varies wildly in its hardness and porosity, even in the same patient. Worst ever material to work with. Is that how you say that word, porosity?
Porosity. Mm-hmm.
I was assuming. I've never actually seen that word before.
Oh, really? Yeah. If anybody would know about, like, the hardness of bone and drilling on bone, and
ugh, that sounds terrible.
It would be Doc, because he is a dentist. And people, I tell you what, there's some people on my Facebook pages, they are like,
they're mad.
Oh, they don't like the fact that I'm speaking out against bone nuts. And I'm like, it's a sponge. Mm-hmm. It is a sponge. I don't know if you've ever seen one up close, but it's a sponge. And it's the most inconsistent material ever. I mean, but it's supposed to be like that. Because bone is to hold a person up.
Van Shank Guitar says, that's funny, Doc. I had a similar experience when I worked at the slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Ew. Rusty Fender says, Dylan Books tone. Martian Murray, would a triple bucker reintroduce the hum?
No. No, not if you wire it right.
Rob F. said, can you say copper, nickel, ferrite? Yes, I can.
Copper, nickel, ferrite.
Oh, so is it supposed to be conif?
No, it's Cu is copper, the...
Scientific, periodic table. Whatever you call that. Element, name, anyway.
And Fe is actually iron.
Elwood Blues humbuckers with different winds on each coil?
I mean, all like really early vintage ones, they say that they had 300 winds on each one, but nobody really knows that. That's a made up myth. It does push the mid-range a bunch when you do that, but the further you go from center, if that makes sense, the noisier it gets. To a point.
Stu Crombie, humbuckers wound with a different type of metal?
Like different kind of wire? Yeah, I mean, people have tried that. The silver ones are supposed to be amazing. The Lincoln. Seymour Duncan Zephyr, yeah. She talked me out of buying a set because she's like, what are we going to do with it when we're done? Because it doesn't matter.
Robinson Customs. Yo there, happy people. I might be a few minutes early on this one, but did y'all ever try the Exotico Blanco? And have you ever tried keeping your tequila in the freezer yet?
No and no.
We don't shop as much as y'all think we do.
Yeah.
No. BC Rich 581 left Facebook because of all the insane screaming of opinions on the most pointless of topics. Favorite of all being a virtual shouting match over flat wounds on a bass.
Jeez.
Patrick Hardy, with a guitar with only one pickup, your 8-ball pickup, a rocker by itself, please save me one special run clear, pay in full on April 26th.
That's a couple people said that. I got enough. Don't worry. I'll make it worth it.
Doug
It'll be worth
Santaniello
it.
says, at least bone is cheap. I can get 10 nuts for a couple bucks and then find the hardest one to cut.
Dude, that's what you got to do. You got to buy them in bulk and then hold it up to the light and see if that's what I used to have to do. I would buy them like in this big bulk. They were all taped together like in this big thing. And then you literally get a light like this and hold it up to the light and see which one was the most even. And I would throw away probably 2/3 of them.
Still stinky.
Just still stinky.
Paul Needs. Those transparent pickup covers remind me of those on the old Gibson Marauder.
Those are actually the actual bobbins. And they're a little frosted, but they're cool looking.
Brian Mills. I think he already made a similar comment, but I don't think this is what he said. No, this is a different guy. Brian Mills. Hey, Leslie and Dylan. I got my 9000 Strat today. Love it. And your pickups rock. Best sounding and playing Strat I've ever played. Great job.
I almost bought that guitar because it's so good.
Curtis Chavez. Dylan, what obscure or vintage pickup have you heard that really sounded phenomenal or was a pleasant surprise?
I had a 1964 Harmony Bobcat with these gold foils in it. Remember that guitar? It was black it looked like a kid's guitar, but that was so hot and so fun to play through a low wattage amp. That guitar was really neat. It didn't have a truss rod. It was really, you kind of had to worry about it to get it to play right. But man, was that a cool guitar. And those old gold foils were really, really fun. I had an old Taisco too. I went through this whole 60s, early 70s Japanese and department store guitar phase where I bought all these guitars and fixed them up and sold them. They were really, really cool. And then a staple 50, like a 55 Les Paul staple P90 is pretty sweet. Those would be probably my highlights of vintage pickups that I thought were cool. And the 66 Tele pickups that my flat sixes are based on.
George Anderson, have guitar pickup cores always been round? Have they ever made a square core? Do they sound any different?
Oh, we just mentioned one. The 55 Les Paul P90 with the staple, they call it a staple P90, and it had rectangle poles in it. Yeah. And to be fair, a Firebird pickup, an EMG 8185, all those have bars in them, which are square and not round.
Rusty Fenders, where would you sell your guitars if you didn't have your website?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't sell anything?
Mm-mm. I love the direct to consumer model because I love this. I wouldn't do it any other way.
Vanchant Guitars, Gibson used clear bobbins on the Vixen series of Les Pauls. They used plain enamel.
Mm-hmm.
Box Guitars Rocks coming in with a dad joke. You ready?
Yep.
Why are deer nuts so cheap? Because they're always under $1.
Oh my God. That's funny. That's pretty good.
Vinny's World. Speaking of which, do the staples make a difference?
Well, they're not staples. They're just, it looks like a staple top. They sound amazing. I don't know how they're made. I've never had one apart. That's kind of a black hole for me. Like, I would love to make those pickups, but I have no idea even where to start with hardware, with, I don't know, you'd have to 3D print bobbins. I don't know. That pickup is it's cool.
I didn't know that. You never said that
Oh
before.
my gosh. Well, yeah, because I'm such a P90 freak, and that particular one is so unique.
I think you should do it. Stu Crombie. I saw a Dylan P90 on a UK eBay.
Oh, interesting.
Vox Guitars Rock. 50s wiring shows one leg of a cap on volume lug, and other on tone. I have an SG that has the cap go from one lug on tone to another lug on tone control. Is this normal?
Yeah, so there's modern and 50s wiring, and it's done both ways depending on how the guitar is wired. Yep.
And Patrick Hardy sent most of this comment before, but in addition, he just said, overlook my last email from yesterday. And he's going to buy a clear 8-ball, April 26th.
Oh, okay, excellent. Go to the other side and see if that fixed itself.
It's still the same
didn't.
number.
Oh, so weird.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I guess we're just going off the phone then, huh?
we are. If I missed anything, because it's highly possible, because we're in a weird situation, please send your question again, because technically I'm all caught up, and that's weird at 19 to 9.
Oh, wow. Really? We don't have any more questions? And it's 20 to 9. It's because people are just chilling. Wow.
Here we go. Joe Hervey 84. Does a 1980s EMG 81 sound different than a modern one?
I don't think so. I think those are pretty locked in designs, I'm pretty sure.
Jeffrey Egan said he's just lurking.
That's all right.
I get that. That's how I watch it.
I'm in a lurking mood sometimes. I was tonight. I commented just a couple of times on Texas Toast's thing. I was very...
You didn't even get drawn into the Tonewood conversation?
I wanted to, man. I wanted to. That whole conversation about vintage Fenders was so funny because these are things I think about, like when I'm thinking about why... So, running a business and owning a business all my life since I was a teenager, I look at products and I'm like, this is a product. A lot of people are very passionate about instruments, but they don't realize that it's just a product that needs to be sold. And one of the things that's interesting that was said tonight was the guy that was head of sales for Leo was you develop a product not to be the cheapest, but to get the most money that you can in the market, which is exactly what I do. We build value so that people understand what they're getting and then they enjoy it, but it's worth the money that they pay for it. And instead of racing to the bottom and like being the cheapest guy to therefore not make any more sales and just have more annoying customers. But then the other thing that was interesting is I did a bunch of research on the 54 Stratocaster and Les Paul while he was doing that. In 1954, the Les Paul was cheaper than the Strat. It was $225. The Strat was $249. Neither of them had cases. $249 in 2023 money is $27.99, which is how much a Les Paul costs now. So anybody complaining about an $1,800, so that American Pro 2 Stratocaster over there is $17.99, I think. I think it's $1,800. And people say it's too expensive, and I'm like, it has a really nice hard shell case. It's actually built properly. And it's only $17.99. That was a really interesting kind of comparison to make. And I know I know inflation isn't like 1-to-1 like that, but it's a very interesting thing to think about. That if you spent $249 for a Strat, and back then it could have been $2,500 or $2,700 today, and you really couldn't complain about it. It was kind of crazy.
All right. Are you ready? We're getting behind now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Curtis Chavez, I've read that the staple tops are Alnico individual magnets and pole pieces as opposed to P90s being screws with bar magnets on the bottom of the pickup.
That is correct.
Rusty Fenders, do you think selling a guitar in parts makes sense? Kind of what the Stratosphere does.
They have an interesting business model. I don't know what moved them to do that. It's not an economical way to build a guitar. So if you're going over there thinking you're going to save money by doing that, I don't think it's worth it. Because I've done it, and it's not.
Jeffrey, I don't know what a T and a V next to each other stands for. Yeah, I don't know how to say that.
Jeffrey
T. My made in Japan Aerodyne Telly has a Fender P90 style pickup in the neck position. It seems underpowered. I cannot get it to raise up much, so I have to lower the SC bridge pickup. Got a recommendation?
Yeah, buy one of my P90s and slap that junk in there. And put one of our flat 6 bridge pickups in there, and it'll be awesome. That is such a cool guitar. It is worth swapping the pickups out and keeping it. Those are so neat, dude. Those Aerodyne things are so cool. When those came out, I wanted one so bad, but I've been buying so many guitars that I had to put it off. I'm glad you got one. Those are neat.
Stu Crombie said the guy bought 2 P90s and sold the other one on UK eBay. I wonder if that's because of, like, shipping. Like, was he trying to, like, help somebody out? Because everybody says the shipping is pretty tough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? Because we have a minimum order. Maybe he only needed one.
Oh, but it wouldn't ship unless.
Yeah,
okay,
because we only ship we ship to the UK, but the minimum order is $200.
Not because of us, because
tax. Of tax stuff with
some queen tax or something.
Yeah,
right?
something to do with whatever. Yeah. Anyway, it's not beyond my control, so all I do is put a minimum order of $200 on UK orders. So maybe he bought 2 of them and then sold one. That makes sense.
Let's see. Martian Murray, could you make Mustang or Duo Sonic pickups? Thinking of maybe getting one of them.
We do. You let me know. I'll make you a set of Mustang pickups. No problem.
Rusty said, so what makes this Kirk Hammett Greenie so special?
Yeah, so the Kirk Hammett Greenie was $50,000.
What?
Yeah. And they just came out with, I almost ordered it today.
Not a $50,000 guitar.
No. It's $31.99. It's the same price as that one. It was in my cart.
What is it?
It's Peter Green of Fleetwood Mac had a 1959 Les Paul that apparently the rumor or legend, I don't believe it, I think it's dumb, but the legend is that the magnet got flipped by accident at the factory in the neck pickup, and so it's out of phase when it's in the middle position. Mm-hmm. The dumb part about it is, and this is so stupid to me, that the pickup is actually flipped around in the guitar like this. But guess what? When you do this doesn't flip the pickup out of phase. You have to actually flip the magnet over inside the pickup, thus perpetuating the myth that the fact that pickup is backwards in that guitar is what is special about it. And that is not what is special about it. The magnet is actually flipped over in the neck pickup. I don't think it happened at the factory. I think that's totally made up. I think somebody did it, but I don't know. I don't care. But it is such a cool guitar. And they came out with the and Kirk Hammett owns it now. It's like probably a $3 million guitar.
So what's the Kirk Hammett Greenie? Did you even answer that question?
Right. So It's Peter Green's Greenie from Fleetwood Mac. Kirk Hammett owns it now. With that flipped around pickup, it's like a $3 million 59 Les Paul, and they just came out with. They had the super duper custom shop one for $50,000 that they had at Casino.
Oh.
And then they came out with a more attainable, basically, like that.
Okay.
That's like the Slash one, only it's this one for $31.99. I almost ordered it today because I was like, that is such a cool guitar, but I ended up not doing it.
Well, that's what's special then.
Yes.
Travis McCartney says, I'm on vacation and paid for the expensive cruise ship internet, and I am using it to hang with you guys.
Thanks, man. That's cool. I hope you are having a fantastic cruise.
Rob F., can a pickup be x-rayed to see how it's made without destroying it?
It'll just look like a huge bright light, I think. Because it's all metal.
Eric Luddinger, I put burst buckers in my cheap Les Paul. Still sounds like a cheap Les Paul. So much for that.
I love that. It's awesome.
Timothy Potter, is Gary Hoey the guitar guy on Jeff Dunham's show?
I don't know the answer to that. He's from Boston, and he is phenomenal. A lot of surf kind of stuff, but metal, like heavy. Really cool.
Lee Asbury, since you have some time, do you have pickups that are really close to PRS old HFS bridge and bass neck pickups? I love that combo.
I don't know, because I don't know what the specs of those are.
Curtis Chavez, do any guitar companies make electric guitars with full classical size and width necks? I played my Recording King for 1 hour straight and my hand was cramped all to hurl.
So, I don't know who would make a really wide neck like that, but I do know that Warmoth, if you wanted to build something up, Warmoth has an 1 7/8 nut neck that will fit in a Strat or Tele pocket, depending on however you get the... It actually is so wide that the neck pocket is like, goes in at where it goes in because the fretboard is so wide. So you can do it, but it's it is available. You can get that at Warmoth. 1 7/8, I think.
Claudio Del something. I'm sorry, Claudio. I have a Ventura ES335 copy. I want to change the pickups. What do you recommend?
Our DAFs. I like putting our DAFs in everything 335-ish.
Stu Crombie said yes, it was the shipping. The UK guy.
Oh, that would make sense.
I think that's a question for the audience.
Well, thanks to that guy for wanting my stuff so bad that he was willing to do that. That's really cool. If you know that guy, tell him thanks. That's cool, man. I had never heard of anybody doing that before. We get a lot of requests for a UK and Europe dealer, but I just don't even know how I would manage it. It would just get too crazy.
Rusty, couldn't you have out of phase through wiring push-pull pots?
Yes, you can do that. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't even need to do what he did. But I guess on those pickups you do because they're braided, that braided wire that we were talking about earlier. And if you just flip it via wiring with those pickups, then every time you touch, so if you flip the phase on, if you flip the phase by just like making the braid hot, then first of all, if it touched something inside the cavity, it would kill the signal of the guitar. Second of all, if you could manage to make it work inside the guitar by flipping those braided versus center thing, the other thing that would happen is that when you were playing that guitar in that mode, when you touched the cover, it would buzz. So you would have to, that's why internally, it's better to do it internally. If you ever want to do any of that kind of wiring, make sure that you get 4-wire pickups to do that, and you can get around all that stuff.
Jason Albert said, just to let you know, I got my pickup Saturday. It's being installed now. Can't wait.
Excellent. He was stoked because that's the first P90. He doesn't have any of my P90s, and so he was really excited about that.
Patrick Hardy says, when I was young, I was in love with the Wilson Sisters of Heart.
Ann and Nancy Wilson. I played in a band with a guy that used to be their drummer.
Rusty Fenders. If Apple made a guitar from modern materials, what do you think is going to be made from? Glass? I would dig a white guitar in the style of the old computers.
Aluminum. Aluminum and Gorilla Glass.
Chris Sean, I just bought an Epiphone IBG Hummingbird. I heard good things, so my fingers are crossed.
Sweet.
Lee Asbury, okay, so I have a couple of old PRS CE24s, and I want to try your pickups. It's an alder body with maple top and bolt-on maple neck. HFS and bass pickups come standard.
All right. I gotta know what those
So you
HFS.
gotta know the specs.
Because that's the second time this has come up. HFS.
Oh, Rusty Fenders meant to say I would like a white guitar in the style of the old computers.
I don't know what
I
these
think we got
are.
the same sentiment.
Whoa, those are expensive. $15K, holy balls, and they're magnet. Oh, they're ceramic. All right, so I would put in that guitar, I would put our Super 8s in that guitar.
In both? What is the...
In both positions, yes. This is kind of their version of a JB and a Jazz. I would put our Super 8s in there. That'd be cool.
Marcia Murray, for the Peter Green type pickups, would it be better to use on a guitar with volume and tone knobs for each pickup?
It wouldn't matter. But you could. Yeah.
Tom Millie Music, do you do a loaded Strat pickguard with a P90 in the bridge? If so, will your Strat size P90s keep up all right with the bridge P90?
Yeah, in fact, if you did that, I would just put our Hot 5 regular Strat pickups in the other positions. Yeah. No, but we would totally do that. I would totally build that. That'd be awesome. We've done a lot of those. Like a single P90 instead of a single hum, if that makes sense. Yep. Hot 5's in the neck and middle position, P90 in the bridge.
Curtis Chavez says, I'm still in love with Ann and Nancy Wilson. Rusty Fenders, is nostalgia holding guitar development back?
I think that it's holding... Well, let me just say, I think that time is marching no matter how you feel about your past. So, I mean, really though. So to not put too fine of a point on it, but all the people that are nostalgic about the 60s and 70s and 80s are going to be dead at some point. And they're going to be replaced by somebody who plays whatever they're playing then. So it doesn't really matter because there's going to continue. This stuff's not going away. Guitar sales are up. They're higher than they've ever been. I mean, you can't use retail sales like Guitar Center problems and stuff like that as a good gauge. This is all up. Everything is up. Everybody's busier. All of this guitar stuff they're selling way more of it. You can't use NAMM as a gauge because NAMM is just failing by itself. You can't use Guitar Center as a gauge because retail sales in person is down, but that doesn't mean that online sales is not. But the next generation of guitar players is here, and they are playing pink guitars, and they do have crazy hair, and they do use digital stuff. And no, I think nostalgia, it might be holding you back as a guitar player, but I don't think it's holding the industry back.
Stu Crombie said the guy had very good feelings about the product, and yes, he was helping out someone.
That's so cool, man.
We have 1 minute, and I have nothing. Benny's World said is holding certain brands back, but not in general, I think.
I agree. Vinny's World, you are going to have a big box of pickups coming.
Ooh.
Well, you ordered a bunch of clear humbuckers. And I've also got 2 sets of humbuckers sitting there that are they're going to be ready to go out tomorrow. But they got to go to Hong Kong. So I'm like, well, I might as well just hang on to them until
do it all in one.
Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, we're going to probably wind them Monday or Tuesday, the other ones. And then they'll all go out at the same time. He'll just get a huge box of goodies.
All right, last question.
Okay.
Iggy. Thoughts on Roswell pickups, both single coil and humbuckers?
I do not know anything about them. Cool.
I lied. One more question.
Okay.
So this greeny flipped magnet, is it turned vertically or just spun horizontally through 180 degrees? And is it easy to do on a potted pickup?
It's harder to do on a potted pickup because it's...
That was Paul Needs. I'm sorry.
It's harder to do on a potted pickup because everything's like stuck together. But if you just take a blow dryer and heat it up a little bit, you can do it. So basically what it is that a humbucker magnet is magnetized on the edges. So if my hand is the magnet, it's actually underneath, right? But if my hand is the magnet, like on this pickup, you have north on this side and south on this side. So what you would do is you would slide it out, flip it over, and slide it back in. That's how you would flip the magnet. Not this way. I guess that would work too. Yeah, so basically it's magnetized on the edges. So you would just flip the magnet over. So basically the way you would do it is you would take these 4 screws.
Or you could spin it, right?
Yeah, you could spin it 180 this way. The idea would be is that you would unscrew these 4 screws a little bit. You don't need to do it a lot. You just loosen them a little bit, take a blow dryer, heat it up so that it like breaks the wax bond, and then take something sharp, like like this, and then just push the magnet out the end, flip it over, stick it back in, tighten the screws back up, and then take your blow dryer and heat it up again so that it kind of like melts and then gets cold and rebonds whatever wax is there. But do it after you put the cover back on if you have a cover. If you have a cover on it, you might need a little more wax. So what you could do is just take some shavings of a candle, put them on top of the pickup right here, and stick the cover back on it and heat it up with a blow dryer until it kind of all goes down where you want it to go, and let it kind of melt all back together. And then when it gets cold, it'll be like wax potted again. You're not really concerned about full wax potting. You just want to damp that where you took it apart and put it back together. That's what I would do. And you can add a scent. Like whatever scent you want. If you want like strawberry or like, cinnamon, apple cinnamon, pumpkin spice, whatever. You can add that to it. Depending on whatever candle you have around. I'm just saying, it could be done. We've added a scent to ours.
Not we.
I did it.
Not we.
All right, it's off-topic hour.
It is. Tell them about off-topic hour.
So here's how this works. We're going to talk about, you can ask us any question you want. We might answer it. If you ask a guitar question, from here on to the end of the live stream, it has to be in a super chat. We will not answer guitar questions unless they are super chats because everything is off topic. This is a way to just hang out and get to know y'all and just be friends and whatnot. Unless nobody has any questions, then we just all go to bed early. But that doesn't usually happen.
You ain't going to bed early.
Probably going to watch YouTube.
That sounds more realistic.
It does. Is there any questions?
That thing is really bugging me. Like,
I know. I don't know why that did that because now it kind of threw off our whole capturing.
It doesn't let you peek though. Now you have to rely on me.
It's true. Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Any questions?
No.
So far?
No.
Nobody has any off-topic questions at all.
Not yet. I mean, you just said it. There's probably a slight delay.
There's probably a slight delay. Well, I'm going to use this to get opportunity to get some water then.
Rusty said, what happened to the UFO stories and disclosure? What is that?
I don't know.
Disclosure.
I am listening to a very interesting podcast right now, though, called High Strange. And it is about UFO stuff.
It's only one episode, wasn't it?
Oh, no.
Wait, am I missing something?
You're probably missing something. High Strange, and the one today was very interesting. Hang on. Oop, I got it right here. About the Rendlesham Forest incident in 1980. That was an actual military installation where they had some kind of craft or whatever. And it was very, very interesting. And the guy that alleges to be the guy that it happened to said that a bunch of people saw it over like a 4 or 5 day period, et cetera, et cetera. I think it was, is that in England? For those of you that may know where that is. Anyway, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not getting notifications. I only listened to the first one.
Oh, no. There is a bunch of, it's one of those things where you can only listen to it. Yeah, I'm on 4.
I know. I see there's 4, but I only got the first one delivered up to me.
Yeah, so, that's been an interesting podcast because I heard something in that podcast that made me think, too. The question is not whether UFOs are real. Because an unidentified flying object or an unidentified, what is a UAV, whatever they call that. Anyway, whatever the names are, whatever they call them. They exist. Things that they don't know what they are do exist. It's a matter of what they actually are and trying to figure that out. So UFOs do exist. Because, like, if I threw something past your head and you didn't know what it was, that would be a UFO.
And I don't know what he means by disclosure. We haven't I don't think we've ever decided, couldn't get the word out, on the topics.
Oh, no. We've never decided on
I think
topic.
we, thought we would at first, but then this has just been a very organic thing, which is way more fun.
Oh, way more fun.
Let's see. Elwood Blues says 2 Strokes coming back.
I believe they would at some point, depending on what you use them for. Not in any meaningful way, though.
Fox Guitars Rocks. What model of Rolex and why a Submariner?
So I want a Pepsi Submariner or a Daytona. But I actually want an Omega first.
Is somebody going to give you one? I mean,
just
they were like, which one do you want?
Just putting the energy out into the
Which
universe.
Rolex do you want, Dylan?
Just putting the energy out in the world. I mean...
Van Chat Guitar says, I bought some vodka last week that's made from cow's milk.
What?
That sounds disgusting.
That sounds gross. I wonder what brand it is. Ivan? Put it in the comments. I want to know what that is so we can look it up.
Is it a special thing, like a flavor, like a mixed
like a milk stout or something, like how they do? Ugh.
Anyway.
That sounds gross.
Charles Wallace, do you have any cool trips plans?
Yes. We just booked one on an impulse the other night. This is how this works. We're going the last weekend of this month to the Gator National 4 Wides in Charlotte. I've never been to an NHRA race.
Oh, really?
No. Not like a real one. Not like a real one where like John Force is going to be.
Oh.
So, I mean, I've been to a lot of...
he's just going to blow something up.
He's just going to crash or blow something up. So we figured we'd go big and go to the 4 Wides and do it all at once. We will be deaf. Got to bring some earplugs.
I need to find one.
Yeah, I know where mine are. I found them already.
So that's the only one, though. I don't feel like we have... I mean, other than going... We have some Texas Toast trips.
We have 2 trips to Colorado this year.
We have a trip to Greenville this summer.
Yep.
That's just a simple thing.
Yep.
But we just talked, and I don't even think we're going to do an actual vacation this year because we have too much going.
Yeah. We are we're in super focus mode. We have goals, and we're really kind of buckled down and doing the thing.
Yeah. Angel Raven 444. Would you drink a Bud Light?
No, but not for the reasons that everybody else is making a huge deal out of it. I don't care about any of that. I do not like Bud Light. Basically, if the beer is on a race car somewhere, I do not drink it. That's my rule.
Charles Wallace. Any new knives?
I have ordered 2 new knives, and I will hold what they are until they get here.
Rusty Fenders. Are you watching the NBA? The Denver Nuggets are looking good.
I don't do basketball that much. I'm not haven't been a basketball. I used to be when I was a kid, but I haven't really I haven't followed team sports that much. It sucks. Like, we're about to go into the NHL playoffs, and I have no idea what's going on. So I'll start following that probably because I love hockey, but I just don't have time to sit and watch. But I'll watch the last couple series of the NHL, and I will watch the Stanley Cup.
Hawkman Hawks. Why did you choose Mercedes over a Ford motorhome? We don't have a Mercedes or a Ford.
No, we have a Dodge Ram ProMaster. Yeah. And I chose it because I didn't want a diesel. And I also chose it because it was $50,000 cheaper.
And it has a great floor plan.
It has an amazing floor plan, and it is for sale. So if you're interested,
we know somebody.
It's amazing.
Lee Asbury, have you ever read? Okay, let me start over. Have you read or plan to read Rick Rubin's new book? I'm digging it.
I've not read it, but I've listened to him on a couple of podcasts talk about it, and the dude is very fascinating as an individual, and I may get the audio version of it and when that is available and do that.
It might be. I'll look. Jason Albert said, I just got a new watch. He didn't say what, though. Timothy Potter sent in a super chat. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Timothy Potter. He said, I want some reefer scented greeny DAFs for my 335 jazz guitar.
I think that candle would probably be pretty easy to find.
Probably.
Yeah. And we just throw a chunk of that in the wax pot and then it'd probably work. But then it would probably smell up the apartment every time I did it. Or I could just stick it out the window to the next door apartment and it would probably be just fine too.
It'd probably come right back.
Probably just come right. Or we could just go in the it was coming through the bathroom vent for a while. Anyway, yeah.
Angel Raven 444. What pickup would you buy? Toyota, Ford?
You know, I was just looking at that yesterday. I mean, my first choice would be a Tundra because I love them. But I probably, if I would buy anything right now, it would probably be a Ford.
What?
Yeah, probably be a Ford. I mean, I'd buy a Tundra, but...
We saw a new Ford recently, and that thing was pretty sick.
Yeah. And I don't know that I want a hybrid. And the only way to get a cool Tundra is to get that hybrid. And
is that the newest thing?
I'm just not...
You're not ready?
We had a hybrid for a while. I'm not ready to go back to that.
Jeffrey Egan said it's UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon.
That's right, UAP.
Vinny's World says they need to get Jonathan Frakes back to do more beyond belief, fact, or fiction. Let's see. Elwood Blue says, do you have a driving sim?
No. If I had room for one, I would definitely have one. My brother has one. It's pretty cool.
Rusty Fenders, would you ever move to Colorado given that some of your business is here?
We looked at it a bunch, and if I ever got into a position where I could have 2 places and one of them was in Colorado, I would definitely have a second place there, but I would not. probably move there because where we are now is so awesome. And it's not, it wouldn't, the business I have out there wouldn't really justify that. So I don't think so, but it is near the top of our list to live for sure. We love it there, but it's so expensive. And even to rent, because we looked at like apartment prices and stuff, just like rent a place so we could have one there, and there's no way.
Doc Siltonen said Rolex watches suck, too heavy and not accurate at all.
Yeah, so it's funny because Rolex is actually kind of further down on my list. There's a bunch of other watches that I would much rather have. I would really like to have an Omega. I would also really like to have a Tag. And I would also really like to have a Ball pocket watch. And I would also really like to have a couple of Hamiltons.
Super chat from Doc Siltonen.
Thank you, Doc.
I've had vodka made from milk. It's really lovely. There is a bar in Toronto called Pravda that we can go on your Canadian road trip that does vodka flights that include it.
Except
I'm not drinking it.
You ain't drinking it.
Nope. Oh, Ivan said he sent you a photo.
Oh, excellent.
Let's see. Charles Wallace said, I test drove a Hellcat the other day. It would be very easy to get in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Those are neat.
Oh, wait. I'm missing something. Oh. Van Chank Guitars, thank you for the super chat. Dylan, I sent you a photo of the vodka I was talking about.
Excellent.
He said it in a regular comment, and then he sent it in a super chat.
I wonder where he sent it.
I didn't know. He said it actually tastes pretty good. It's called Vodka.
Oh, here we go. He said it on Facebook. Vodka.
So is it actually
produced from Canadian milk?
That is so weird.
That is weird. It's clear-ish.
It's clear.
It's clear enough to look like vodka. That's weird. I wonder even how that... I mean, what's it distilled from?
Puss.
That's so gross.
Okay. Just, sorry.
Moving on.
Lee Asbury, do you have a daily driver motorcycle?
Not right now.
Robinson Custom says the Russian folks can make vodka out of just about anything. They sort of have to.
It's true. It's true. It's good, though. Not all of it, but some of it is. We drink vodka that comes from Iceland.
Mm-hmm. Like right now, we drink vodka that comes from Iceland.
Yep.
Eric Lettinger, how is the house search going? Are we searching for houses?
No. I think basically somebody was asking me why I was selling all my guitars, and I was just like, because we have a plan, because we're going to buy a house at the end of the year. We know what we're buying. Yeah, we have a plan. We have a plan.
David Riley says the Pittsburgh Penguins are out of the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, so I have no interest.
I saw that. I don't really care who's in it. I will just watch it because I just love hockey.
Rachel. Angel Raven 444 says my Canucks are out too. No surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Wesley Storr said I did the audiobook of Rick Rubin. It's great. I highly recommend.
I will do it.
Jason Albert said I got a Seiko from my Snap-on guy. I hit send before I was done typing.
Nice.
Wait, they have watches too?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta keep Bryson away from them people.
I have a Seiko from my grandfather. It's my grandfather's like #1 watch. He was a banker, so it's like the classic Seiko quartz with the gold in the middle of the band with the linked band and the gold around the outside, but the whole watch is silver, like stainless. it's like the classic. So I have one of those.
Box Guitars Rock says Rolex is the Walmart brand of Swiss watches. Dufour is where it's at.
Well, yeah. I have like 4 Movados, and I love them. But of course, they're not near on the same.
Rusty Fenders, I think he's the one that lives in Golden. He said it's not really that cold here. You get 2 months that are really bad, then sunny for the others. Kind of weird that it doesn't rain. I miss the rain.
Oh, yeah.
That would be weird.
Mm-hmm.
Bob the Blind Bedroom Guitarist. Are you really blind?
I think he is.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody. One of my favorite watches that I own is a Bulova?
Bulova?
Bulova space watch from the 50s. It's an Accutron, I think.
Yeah, very cool.
That's pretty neat.
That's very cool. I was actually trying to buy the Swatch Omega Moonwatch collaboration, but they've rocketed up so much that they kind of got out of what I was willing to pay for one.
Oh, then I'm always ahead of myself. Bob the Blind Bedroom Guitarist said, please excuse what looks like illiteracy on my part. I use speech to text because I'm blind and it has its own take on the English language. Totally get it. Rusty Fender said, okay, everybody, type your temperature right now. He said it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit in Denver.
It's 63 here.
That's wild.
Well, it's also 7:30 there.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Rusty Fenders, where did you get that watch band? Is that you?
Oh, this?
That's
well, which watch band? So this watch band is for my Apple Watch Series, whatever this is, Ultra thing. And I just got it off of Amazon for like $30. I like it. It's like a cuff style.
And that's not a watch.
And this is not a watch. This is a multi-tool.
Oh, Jason Albert said he won it in a giveaway, and he sent you a picture earlier today of his Seiko.
Oh, cool. I'll check it. I'll check for it. This is the Leatherman Tread, and each one of these links has Allen keys and screwdrivers and a bunch of stuff on it, and I use it all the time.
Lee Asbury said the Rick Rubin book. I love it because it's like there are no wasted words. It reads easy and no words are unnecessary. Very easy read, but so amazing.
That's cool, man. Let me see what Jason...
Oh, David Riley says he's legally blind and talk to text gets him also. And it's 73 in Pittsburgh. They're not in a different time zone.
No, wow. That's crazy. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, Eric Davis says 73 in Denver now. 46 is the high tomorrow. Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool.
Snap-on branded and all?
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. That's cool, man.
My goodness.
Actually, I did get a new knife since the last time. I got 2. Well, one is hers.
What's mine? I didn't get a new knife.
That ProTech Runt.
Oh. That's been since we talked about it?
Yeah. So, I am a ProTech freak, and I have a bunch of them. And I really, really, really like this. So, my kind of collectorness is these. This is the ProTech Godson automatic stiletto. But it's all black with black DLC blade and ivory micarta. So it looks, they call it the tuxedo. So that's the first one I got. And then a few months later, I got, this is a really neat knife. I've probably showed it to you before. This is the Whiskers, which is a side bolster. So when you see it, it doesn't have any buttons. And what you do is you kick the bolster to the side and the knife deploys. So there's that one. So this is called the Whiskers, and I got the same thing in the black blade with the ivory micarta. And then they had one more knife this is called the Newport, I think, and I just got this one. So this is like a really super slender button automatic in the same kind of... So now I have all three of them. There's actually one more. They have the full-size version of... Ow, went the wrong way. Stabbed myself in the finger. This one comes in a bigger size too, but there's none of them available anywhere. So I'll probably try to collect all four. But this Newport is the latest that I got. So I guess I did get a new knife since the last time.
Did you cut your finger?
No, it got me in the center of the hand. It was just the knife just popped against my hand.
Oh, I can't. Keith H, thank you for the super chat. He says, if I send you a picture of my trust ride in tomorrow, can you compare it to yours? It's way down there. Not sure of how it should be. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, just shoot me an email with that.
Angel Raven 444 wants to know, have you ever seen a UAP or aerial phenomenon in your area? No. And I don't know what this word means. Asking for a what, friend? MUFON? Muffin? I don't know.
I don't know. I have not. I've never really seen a UFO situation. I've seen comets. I've seen the Northern Lights. I've seen all kinds of crazy astronomical things. And all kinds of crazy explainable stuff. I used to live in Flagstaff, Arizona, where I used to live for a long time. I lived on this mesa in Flagstaff, Arizona, where my neighborhood was. And about a half a mile or maybe 3/4 of a mile through the woods was the Powell Observatory. And it was, the Lowell Observatory. I apologize. The Lowell Observatory. Percival Lowell is the person who discovered Pluto from there. And so we had like the best, it was at 7,300 feet elevation, and you had you could only use these particular kind of street lights, and light pollution was a thing. It's a dark city, whatever they call that. So I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff in the sky, but it was always, you always knew what it was. But I've never seen any UFO kind of stuff.
I feel like I've had one strange experience in my life that I can't explain, but just one.
Do you care to share or no?
I mean, I could. It feels silly to talk about it, though. So I was probably 16, driving, had a curfew that I was going to be late for. On top of thinking I was going to be late, so I played it off, though, because I forgot my grandparents were out of town, and I was supposed to take care of their cat, which was on the other side of town. So I called my mom, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be late because I forgot I got to feed the cat. So she didn't know I was going to be late, period. I was just going to feed the cat. But the whole way home, so the road we commonly drive to Mom's house, it's like a huge four-way with tons of houses now.
Right.
It was a two-way road. Mm-hmm. Just dark. There was nothing out there. The base was right next to us.
Oh yeah, there's a military base there.
Swear, something followed me in the sky, the whole way, to the point that I sat in the car when I got to my grandparents' house. I mean, we're talking 10 miles. Sat in the car at my grandparents' house, scared to get out of the car. I don't know what followed me. And I was like, I'm going to get in so much trouble if I don't run in here and feed this stupid cat because I have to get home. So I literally ran in their house, fed the cat, and when I came back out, it was gone.
Wow.
So I don't know.
I think you told me about that before, actually.
I don't know what it was.
Well, there you go. That sounds like a pretty legit one.
I mean, it sounds silly, but I wasn't a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it was.
Well, and it was next to a top secret military installation. I feel like they always are.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I literally feel like it followed me. Because it, stayed with me. It was terrifying. I remember being like really scared. But who am I going to tell? Like, I can't call
Maybe
anybody.
we should ask our Space
and
Force
I couldn't
friend.
call my mom. Like, I don't know. Because I was more scared of getting in trouble, apparently, than I was.
Than you were of aliens.
I don't even think I've ever told my mom this story.
Really?
Probably
oh my
not.
gosh.
I should tell her.
You should tell her that story.
Okay, sorry.
That's so funny.
Rusty Fender says he wants to start a machete collection. Vox Guitars Rock said those are sweet knives, prohibited here though.
Oh.
Stu Crombie says, Dylan, I'm into chef knives. Have you heard of global knives? Henkels are always good too. Japanese and German steels are good quality.
I have a Henkel's. I have a couple Henkels actually. I have a Henkel's, I have a Wusthof, and I have a Kyocera. So I guess I have a Japanese and German. I was actually just shopping for some Japanese knives last night. I'm ready to up my kitchen. I have just some pretty generic run of the mill. I have a 7-inch Wusthof that's good, but it's just good. So I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna go Japanese on some stuff and see if I can find some really good stuff.
Will it make you cook more?
Probably.
I think you should get it down.
I mean, it's making me eat more oranges.
Your knife?
Well, that was the thing. I'm like, I'm so lazy, I don't want to peel my own oranges. And I'm like, well, it gives me an excuse to use a knife. And I have those sweet Spyderco Bow River knives in the kitchen. So that's what I've been using to peel oranges with.
And that is encouraging to you.
Yeah, because it's fun. You're just using a knife, so.
Jason Albert says, does the Newport knife smell like menthols?
No, it does not. That's funny.
Ryan White. So Ryan White, no offense, Ryan White, that was like a kid who, I think he like died of cancer or something. So like there were grants at our hospital and it was called the Ryan White Grant. So every time I see Ryan White, I think of Ryan White Grant. Anyway, not related, I'm sure. What do you think about Crocs? Style over comfort?
Next question.
He does style and comfort, by the way.
Yeah, I don't.
No Crocs.
No compromises and no Crocs.
Oh. See, Jeffrey Egan with all the explanations, and he says he's a lurker. MUFON, that word, I asked you what it meant. He said Mutual UFO Network is what it stands for.
Oh, wow.
No clue.
No idea.
Charles Wallace, did you get the latest NASCAR event email I sent you while you were in Denver?
I did.
Rusty Fender said, when I lived in Puerto Rico, I saw a UAP. For years, I really believed it to be aliens. Later, I found out that we can see the International Space Station from Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah. We used to be able to see that all the time.
Not here. We were in California.
Not here. Yeah, we'd see it in California. I could see it from my house.
I mean, we have seen it here, but not like we could in California.
No,
Dominique Brooks said, I'd be a knife guy if I wasn't already into guitars, cars, and guns. So many cool things,
dude,
so little time and
that's
money.
the thing, man. That is the thing. Yep.
C Stone said, me and my brother saw a storybook UFO in Northern California around 2008. Changed our whole perspective on life.
I can see why that would do that for people. I get it. I have never been one to think they're important to consider or anything like that until very recently. And I get why people are interested. I really do. It's interesting.
Angel Raven 444 says, Dylan, are you mad we're wasting money going back to the moon?
Well, I don't have any control over that, so I'm not mad about it because I don't have any control over it. I am curious to understand what they're doing up there, what they're gonna do. I don't know.
Is it next year?
It's
the
like
mission
next
is
year.
far out, right?
Yeah, it's next year. The thing I'm really curious about is why Mars. I don't understand the whole mission to Mars thing. I don't get that. It's just people are just gonna die.
Roth Freitas.
Nice.
Thank you for the super chat. He says, hello from Philly. Thank you both for the content. Breath of fresh air in the guitar YouTube verse. It is appreciated.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for the super chat as well. I appreciate that a lot.
Marcia Murray said, Marcia Murray, huh? I saw a UFO as a kid. It flew overhead, stopped midair, and took off quickly. Also near a base.
It always is.
Wait. Charles Wallace says, seen one thing when I was about 9 that was moving across the sky way too fast to be a plane, not near a base.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Albert said, if you're going to get into machetes, you need to get Danny Trejo first.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
Van Shank guitars. I've seen lots of meteors. No UFOs, though.
My next 2 knives are fixed blades. I'll give you that clue. And they're like grail fixed blades.
Marcia Murray said, ever since I saw a UFO, I thought they were tracking me. Have you seen one since? I haven't seen one since, I don't think. And I don't know what I saw.
Yeah, I've never had an experience like that. I mean, I lived in Arizona when that whole thing in Phoenix, the Phoenix Lights thing was going on. But I did live too far from it to see it.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I do remember that. But the other thing, too, is where we lived in Arizona, there was all kinds of reasons for, like, weather to cause stuff. So there was all, we were at high elevation. The air was really thin. The thermal stuff off the mountains, like the San Francisco peaks in northern Arizona, are big enough to, like, create their own weather. So clouds would go backwards. Like, you would think the weather was going to go from here to here, but it would actually go the wrong way. Like, there would be all kinds of crazy stuff. And so it would cause things to happen all the time. And you just see stuff and you just know that it was some weather-related thing or whatever. Also, that Cinder Hills OHV park where we used to go play were these huge craters that you could drive your car in. I think I took you in them. But that was where they actually tested the moon lander in the 60s. Was that whole area out there. So there's all kind of crazy stories about all kind of stuff. Of course, Meteor Crater is like an hour from there.
Bob, the blind bedroom guitarist, again, text-to-speech, so I'm going to maybe botch this, but what I understand him to say. Hey, Dylan, when I was living, something about a date, I don't know. I had a girlfriend. She claimed she was abducted by aliens when she was very small. She was an extremely intelligent young woman, and she claimed that they told her they were going to come back in the future. I mean, totally sane.
Wow.
Oh.
Huh.
Somebody said something. Oh, Fox Guitars Rock. I've never seen a UFO, but I've been mooned a few times.
Oh my God. One of those other instances in that was an abduction in that podcast that you might not have gotten to yet, but it was in the White Mountains of Arizona. I know right where that is.
Oh wow!
On the Mogollon Rim, yeah.
Haas says, when I was TDY to Spain, I got to watch Harriers take off and land at night, just floating lights. It will mess with your head. What is that?
Vertical. What is it? Vertical takeoff VTOL. Vertical takeoff and landing aircraft.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Harrier jet. It will literally, like, it's got these like ducts that point straight down, so it looks like a regular airplane, but it can like just take straight off like this and then go.
And what kind of like lights do they have on them?
He's just saying that the lights. It's a normal aircraft that moves in ways that a normal aircraft wouldn't move. So if you saw just those lights, you wouldn't know. You'd be like, wait, what the heck is that? You know what I mean? Because it's not doing something that you would normally think it should do. All the stories that I heard, the one I heard today in the podcast, was like devoid of any noise and no air movement and stuff. Because that's the thing about modern flight is there's displacement of energy. Like you're moving air from one place to another and you're creating heat and you're it's all noisy and there's all these things, but when those things are not present and you still have motion, that's when it starts to get weird.
Yeah.
Because you have to push something that way to go that way.
Right. That was what
theoretically to us.
Mine had 3 lights, and literally I felt like it followed me. And drones weren't a thing then, but you also wouldn't go that far if it was a drone.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally waited on me. I was scared.
That's so weird.
It was weird. I don't know what it was. I should go back and I wouldn't be able to know when it was. I could probably estimate. But I should see if there was how they put stuff in the paper what was this?
Yeah.
Anyway.
You could be in a podcast.
No. I don't know enough. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Oh, wow. That's so funny. Yep.
Marcia Murray, I see stuff in the sky all the time. Mostly I think they're just meteors or the space station or something normal. I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think about it. I'm thinking about it now because y'all asked me about it, not because I worry about it or something.
Right.
But, I still go outside at nighttime.
Exactly. Whatever.
All right. Nobody has any more questions, and it's been 40 minutes.
Cool. Well, that's cool. We have a new video coming out tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It is the Tonex review.
Why are you talking about it now? You should have said that at the end of the other one.
Oh, sorry.
You can't talk about guitars right now.
I'm just telling you what's going on.
Rusty Fenders wants to know, are you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah. More than Star Trek.
Didn't we talk about that last week?
We did, yeah. I feel like people ask about that fairly regular.
Is that just a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember. I would have to watch. I can't tell you anything about either one of them. I could tell the difference if they were both in front of me, but I can't tell you anything about either one of them.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well, thanks for hanging out, man.
Thanks for all the super chats.
Yeah, thank you for the super chats.
Thanks for bearing with us with our frozen comments.
Yeah, I don't know why our comments froze tonight. That was weird. And also, thanks to the new folks that hung out with us. I think I saw a few names, and even some of the super chat folks were new too. So, thank you so much for joining the conversation. And I guess we will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about the Tonex pedal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty cool. We'll see y'all.
Whoops.